Yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's up to all the podcast family out there? It's your girl, Providencia Lopez. I'm here at the Condor Approach in Austin, Texas with my boy, Corey James Gray. If you're looking and you want to be a coach or you're looking and you're a healer, you work in different healing modalities, reach out to Todd and Cole on Instagram, because this is where you start bridging the gap between your modalities and income, learning different rules, learning different approaches. That's one thing that I love about the Condor Approach is that they take everything that I don't understand and they simplify it for me.
100%.
So, hey, be curious, be Condor curious, because it's a community out there for you. You no longer have to be afraid. The beautiful thing is that we're all psychedelically informed. So that means we work from our hearts and not our heads. So thank you. And thank you for talking to me. Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Whether you're a life coach, therapist, biohacker, invested in wellness, or in the healthcare profession, if you have an intention to work in psychedelic spaces, you're in the right place then. If you're called, get involved. But first, get informed. Let's talk the 4 N's: intake, intention, in-space integration. Leading to deeper transformations. Psychedelic Coach Podcast, Todd Cole. Walk you through the process, it's all possible. Leave space for the follow through. Most importantly, integration is not optional.
Hey, what's up? What's up to all the podcast family out there? It's your girl at Provi3010 at Healing Your Providence, Providencia Lopez. I'm here at the Condor Approach in Austin, Texas with my boy, Corey James Gray. Okay, you've been doing that this time. Is it you who's been doing it? One of y'all. Yes, please give the club pom 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 pom. Yeah, the bonbons. We need all of them. So we are here. I am in the Puma phase. What phase are you in now?
I am also in the Puma phase.
So we came in, right, we in this together, and we came in right at the same time, and that was such a blessing. So we started last year in February when we first met, and you came through and you spit some very healing bars, and you shut the whole. You were kind of put on the spot. I think you were coming here from London, I believe. I think so too. And so you came to support Todd and Cole. And when you came into the container, you showed up and you showed out like day one. I was like, he's a coach already. Tell us a little bit about you. What got you into this space and how are you using your coaching to heal people?
All right. First, let me address that rhyme that happened in the morning.
Please.
Thing I just landed like maybe 6 hours before I got to Austin, so late.
Right.
And I slept for about 4 hours and I show up and there's a sound issue. So I'm helping set up and then there's a sound issue and Cole looks over to me and is like, hey, we're going to have, and she just looks at me and then she starts talking on the mic. Yeah, she was like, we're going to have Corey James Gray come up here and rhyme.
It's the cold look that gets you, right? Like, you about to do this even if you don't want to do it, right?
One of those things. And I was like, okay. And my heart started beating out my chest and my throat closed up.
But this is your thing. You've been doing this for how many years now?
A long time. I've been rhyming. I've been writing. I started writing poetry and winning my little contests in middle school.
Okay.
And rhyming like later on, like high school publicly. You know what I'm saying? But really, I still have to do I still do my breathing before I'm on. And I speak to what I call my dragon.
Okay.
That feeling is my dragon. I don't push it down.
Don't push him down.
I don't push it down. I'm like, welcome, dragon. That's why when I got on the mic, I let the dragon speak. I was like, ooh, I'm so nervous right now.
Wow.
And I said, my heart is beating fast. My throat is closing up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember that.
I just gave it a little voice.
But it was so nice because like it came around full circle. Your heart was beating fast, and you talk about meditation, this and that. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, I've never heard anything like this. Like, I'm from Atlanta, so, we way more nuck if you buck and all types of other foolishness.
I think that too.
Right. And so let's talk about a little bit I like what you said. I want to talk about the dragon. So we're going to go a little bit more in your past before we talk about the dragon. So remind me of that if I get a little crazy.
Absolutely.
You started doing this to help you with what? When you first started rhyming, what was little Corey James Gray going through to insert himself into an arena to where he wanted to start using his voice to activate people and charge people up? What were you going through personally? People just don't wake up one day and be like, I want to go cipher and do all this kind of stuff. What were you going through? What did you need to see or know at the time?
Something just hit me just now that I've never spoken about. And it's your energy that brought it out. One part that I do speak about in my younger days was my family, my caretakers, letting me know, very verbal, about how I spoke too much, how I talked back too much, how I always had something to say. Right. You need to shut your mouth. It's better to be heard. Better to be seen than heard. Just that really quiet. But something I just remembered just now, Providencia, my mother used to, when my aunts were over, and whether I was in bed or just doing something else, I would get called in the living room to perform.
Oh, wow.
I forgot about that.
How did you forget about that?
Wow. I didn't forget about it, but I forgot about it in this context.
Right.
So I would have the people that are caretaking for me that were always telling me, like, I'm too young to be caught, to have an opinion. Right. That's what it felt like. You know what I mean? I was too young to have an opinion, to have a voice. I need to shut up and play my role and respect my elders. Right. To now, it's performance time. Oh, that resonates with me. So now it's like, okay, your aunties are here. Go ahead. Do it again. Do it again.
Almost, if I can say this, and it's said out of love, almost like you were there, show monkey when it was appropriate. Right. But then you need to, and I resonate with that a lot as well, because I had a parent the same way. But when the lights are off and everybody's gone, I need you to go back into your corner.
Back into your cage.
Go back into your cage.
It's to make you smaller.
Right.
So, yeah.
That resonates with me a lot in dealing with my mom. And I know we have spoken before on Bridging the Gap series. So just know that if you want to check it out, it's on at Provi3010. But we talked about that being seen and not heard. And that was a lot of my growing up in the Kojic community, that women should be seen and not heard. And for me, it made me want to be heard even more, but not heard in the right way. So then I started to act out. I started to go off, curse. So you're going to see me and you're going to hear me, but it was never in a constructive way. And my mom would always do that. Oh, when the friends are over, come out and be funny. Oh, come and tell the jokes at the corporate party. But then when I get back home, it's, oh, you need to go back downstairs. You need to go to the basement, or you need to go. And it was like a constant blowing up to make me small, blowing up to make me small, blowing up to make me small. And I shared this story with Meredith and some other people not too long ago. I did a speaking event with some of my Sacred Sisters in DC, and my mother goes, when you go there, don't talk so much. Don't act like you're just so the shit. Don't be all over the place. And I was like, they're bringing me here because I am the shit. Like, I need you to understand what you birthed. Understand that you birthed something great, and it's okay for me to lean into it. And I was like, and everybody else who's on the panel is the shit. And what I want to circle back to about the Condor Approach is that when I see everyone here, we are all the shit.
All the shit.
Welcome to being the shit.
Welcome to being the shit.
And so it's like we no longer have to be kind of that. When companies around now, you can show out. You can show out each and every day in your modality of healing. And you've decided to go the musical route, to use music as your modality of healing. And you do it so well. Like when I saw your website the other day when we were on a mastermind call, I was like, wow, Corey James is the bomb. I got to interview this person. Wow, this is awesome. So how do you regulate those moments when you want to shrink back in, or how you honor the I need to be seen and I need to be heard for Black and brown people. And you elevate their voices for people who probably had to hear the same thing, be seen and not heard. How do you put all that into your coaching?
Having the experience that I've had with being that shrunk and shrunken and then blown up and then shrunken and then blown up, that does something to your nervous system as well. So I feel like, since I work with high performers, right? I consider myself a high performer as a creative, as an artist, as a mentor. And just like you said, we tend to do things to be heard in a way that may not be the most healthy way. Yeah. So in a high performance, it's the same thing. So what drives some high performers might be a fire that's not the most healthy fire.
Right.
So it may not be the most healthy fire. So this work and that fire may also be a fire that is a very contained fire to be in somebody else's forest. Yeah. So and we're so scared of burning down the other people's forest. You know what I mean? Because we're told that our fire needs to stay small.
Right.
So to get to the root of what started our fire and what kept our fire burning small, but then burning big, but still so contained. Yeah. To get to that root and to be able to burst open and have a self-controlled flame, not from somebody else's bubble.
That is so amazing that you say that, because I've always had this notion that I'm too much. When I was in school, she's just too much. They gave me every label, which I feel like labels are for soup cans. I think one of our former presidents said that once, and his mother taught him that. And I've always had this thing, I'm too much. And someone told me this the other day: you were too much for that person or that container, but you're never too much. In the Condor Approach, I don't feel like I'm ever too much. It's just they know how to use my energy. Like, she's not going to sit down, obviously. She's going to be hugging everybody, tinkering. That's the way I was in school. Yeah. I was always like, not fucking with people, but just kind of tinkering here. Hey there, you want to come play with my toy? And it's like, in the Condor Approach, they give me a nice little bubble to go into, my own container to flex and expand myself, and I can blow up here. And it's just, I like that you said that, like, your fire is your fire, and you can be as big as you want to be. And I'm starting to say, you know what? I could be as big as I want to be in other people's forest. Like, maybe I'm going to pull you into some level of awareness that you didn't even see within yourself to help you tap into something or parts of yourself that you tried to push away.
Exactly.
So, like, you coach a lot of people.
I do.
And you DJ.
And I DJ.
So, and I've always
coach as well.
Right, I've always wanted to learn how to DJ. I tried learning how to DJ during the pandemic. I got a little
controller.
Yeah, I was over here. I just want to put like some Jay-Z on it with a little South hit. And so I've always wanted to do that. How do you teach people to cultivate and honor parts of them in the music, with music, like other people's music, and then use that to go? Because I love what Todd did the other day on Instagram, where you have this little chart and you give them words to say, and people can use those. I'm going to get the courage to do that when I get back home. And you can use these words to cultivate your own rhymes. Like, how do you encourage and pull that out of people when you're coaching them?
First, it's the comfortability. First, it's the comfortability. I make sure that they're comfortable with me.
And safe. That's beautiful.
And in a really comfortable and brave and safe space.
Right.
And then we work on themselves.
So that's deep.
We work on, like, you. We work on what noises you're comfortable making. It starts there. It might start with, I have clients that as soon as I put on a beat and I'm like, all right, now we might start off like that. Here's a beat, we freestyle, and
everybody closes up, right?
Yeah. So it may start with literally rocking. It might start there, and then it might start just where you were.
Right, just the noises.
And then it might start with some, and then it might go into some light language.
Oh, I love that.
And then it might go light language with words inside.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's a build to let your nervous system know, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. There's nobody judging me here. I'm not thinking about what you're thinking, what they might think. I'm not thinking about messing up. And that's the thing about freestyle. There's no messing up. There's nothing. And even if you stop, silence is music.
Say that one more time.
Even if you stop, silence is music.
Oh,
you can't have, if I'm playing the drums, but if there's just constant drum, space is what makes the beauty.
I've been working on that in silence or space or the pause. Someone taught me that.
Yeah.
There's so much in the pause, Providencia. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean there's so much? They're like, when you're talking to people, it's so much in that nuance, that pause. But I love, because, we'll talk about some Condor approaches. That one thing that I love about this container is that you have to feel safe, connection, and fulfillment. And it sounds like that's what you're doing with your clients, is that you're building a level of safety where they can start approving and accepting the sounds and the beats within our body. And someone told me this the other day, like, you have your inner pendulum, right? You may have your inner metronome. Like, what is your personal beat? Like, we all.
Exactly.
So I'm going to tell you a secret about me. Whenever I used to walk into a club, I would play the Bee Gees in my head, right? Okay? So I would walk in.
Perfect.
And I would play the Bee Gees in my head because that was my theme song, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like what you're saying is like we all have that kind of metronome, that kind of beat within ourselves. But because of our constructs and all of the things that we've done, this is what I hear you're saying. Because of our constructs and how we were raised and our gender not being too much and all the things that other people told us, we've lost that beat. We've lost that inner beat and we start to dance to everyone else's beat.
That's it.
And sometimes my beat may not be your beat, but how beautiful do you allow someone to honor the beat within them, honor the voice within them, to say, you know what? You're fly and you're the shit. But before we even can start to rap, we got to get you to start feeling safe enough in this container to honor yourself, and then safe enough to know that you're not your constructs anymore. And then as you start to take those constructs off, you start to feel that beat and you start to honor it and see it. So thank you for sharing that, because that's what I'm picking up on, is that a lot of times we've lost our voice, we've lost our beat. We may have lost our sensuality, our sexuality, because we've allowed other people to tell us what to do, be, and understand, when we got to go back to what do we need to know, be, and understand for ourselves.
That's it.
So that's like such a beautiful place to be in. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
As you have your family and your children and as they grow into their dynamic, how do you empower them to find their beat? Because I've kind of seen the background in your house. It's like a studio. And how do you allow your son to find his beat and honor his beat?
I love to tell this story. So his mom, Eloise, my partner, is a Reiki master.
Oh, nice.
So we have a healing house. So
that's
since
beautiful.
he's been younger, like his ow was not fixed by a doctor. It's fixed by Reiki. So he'll put his hands on you. You know what I mean? If you get hit or something, he's like, I can't sleep. I need Reiki.
Oh,
it's that kind of. So
right. I need some healing.
So we do have a drum set in the house. We have turntables in the house. We have hand drums in the house.
Wow.
So he'll beatbox for me and I'll rap. And so there's that portion. There's that accepting of, we just put things in front of him. You know what I mean? And then there's little things that we do. There's no good boy, good job.
Right.
There's none of that. There's no wording that would have him reaching up and acting out for our affection any more than he would do as a toddler, 4-year-old that would do that anyways. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things. It's like the language. It's, let me show. What is that? You must be proud of that. How does that make you feel?
Oh, that's so beautiful.
That kind of thing. And the biggest thing I feel like, and it's been really interesting because I feel my nervous system still till this day, like still navigating it and getting used to having my 4-year-old have a voice.
Wow.
Because if one of us cuts him off,
right,
he says, he has a little, by the way, his mom's from London, so he has an English accent.
Really?
So, yeah,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, a little brown boy with an English accent. So he's like, Dads, I was talking. And he'll look at his mother like, I was talking. And I'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Bubs. I'm sorry. Daddy apologizes.
Right.
Please continue. You know what I'm saying?
That is so beautiful that where you feel like your parents fell short or maybe cut you off or just, let's not call it falling short, where your parents, they did their best. Yeah. We gonna give them, they did their very best.
They did their best.
That you have allowed your son to honor his voice. What a magical voice. I love to see brown people with English accents. So amazing to see his voice and allow him to express when things are not going so well. Hey, you cut me off.
Yeah.
And I didn't complete my thought. So let me do a reframe and let me try this again. That's so, so amazing. Because I do believe in this work that we're doing, not only does it translate in our coaching life, but it also translates in our personal life where I no longer try to be the victor, villain, or victim in my kids' narrative. And then I try not to be the victim, villain, or victor within myself. So when I see myself going into the victim space and the shame space and the guilt space, I easily do a reframe and I'm like, that's not what you want, sis.
Yeah.
Stay above the mess. Like when people try to tell me like, oh, this is going on and that's going on, I just listen openly. And if they invite me to share my thoughts, then I do, but I stay just above it and just say, like, I can coach you through it, or do you want me to be a friend? And Cole has definitely taught me about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't need you to be a coach. Sometimes they need you to just be a friend. Right.
Like, yeah.
So what are some of your offers that you have going on? What you got? What you doing? Pull up on them. What event spaces are you working in? I know you said you have some possibly work that you can do in Grenada. Like what you got working on?
I do a lot of things.
What are some of your offers that you love, that you're so passionate about?
I mean, you know what the thing is, when I say I do a lot of things, I only do what I love, which is beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
So I am a DJ. I'm a DJ coach.
Nice.
And when people come to me for DJ coaching, I let them know off the bat on the phone call that like, this isn't just going to be a regular mixing situation. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about where you are before the session, because where you are, and I might run a states, where you are is going to definitely impact how you're able to take in this information. And I want you to receive this information.
And how you show up.
And how you, exactly.
Wow.
So there's accountability. I make sure people are accountable for the time that they're investing in themselves and the money that they're investing in themselves and the time.
I feel like that's a total investment. And we can talk about DJing from like where it was then to where it is now. Now I feel like, because I'm just going to tell you now, I'm a Bonobo fan. I love some ambient. I'm a DJ. What was his name? MF Doom.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I'm in it. Danger Mouse. All of that's where I was tracking back in the day. And it's like RJD2, like I love that kind of music.
Yeah.
And so I love first of all, I love all kinds of music. I love Swedish House Mafia to like, now here you go. I love all that kind of music, right? And so I learned to allow music in my healing and my sobriety carry a lot of weight. Music in my sobriety carries a lot of weight. If I'm feeling a certain kind of way, sometimes I'll drop in and listen to ambient music because I don't need you to tell me what I'm feeling. I don't need the words. I don't need the dialogue.
Right.
I can walk myself through it. And then sometimes if I'm like prepping before I go to a Atlanta United game, I'm with way more than a few bucks. Look, if you
Let's
would,
go.
boy. And it's, but music has always been a vibe for me. So if I were to think about mixing, I would want someone to run a states assessment on me to be like, so what are you feeling? Because
Yeah.
if I'm in a relationship where I'm not feeling fulfilled, then my music isn't going to reflect that. Maybe a little bit more Summer Walker, a little bit more whining on there.
Yeah.
And then if I'm feeling more empowered, it may be a little bit more Swedish House Mafia, where it's just like really hitting it. And sometimes every now and then I sprinkle a little Beyonce on there when I need her to just make me stand up as a woman. So I love how you bridge the gap with that. Like you're asking people, so what, let's run a states assessment. What's going on in your personal life? Because we have to realize that music can't, and beats and certain sounds will show up and reflect in your healing. Like, can you talk about a little bit about that? Like a little bit more about running these states and how do you bridge that gap between, hey brother, I see you going through this. Let's use this kind of beat. Let's pick up on these kind of tones to help you bridge the gap to the other side of where you want to be after this session.
Yeah, so it before we even get to the music, it goes on. It will chat it up, right? And usually it goes like this: hey, how you feeling today? I'm good. Cool.
Right. The I'm good is
Cool.
always
I'm like, yeah. What's good with you? You know what I'm saying? What's good?
Right.
Is this? Oh, good. And if it's there, then it's there. If you know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to dig, but there's also cues. You know what I mean? There's cues, and so if I need to go deeper, then it's okay. How are you though? What's cracking with you? What's really good? That also allows me to know what tone I should have, how fast or slow I should speak, what we're gonna. Each lesson is for the individual person. So like I'll have an idea of what I want to do with them that day, but I'm very student led in the ways I move when I'm working with clients and students.
Because every person is not the same.
Exactly.
That's the way I coach. Like I feel like my coaching is way more a la carte. Like I need to listen and talk to you before I tell you what you need. You may not even need sober coaching. And we all have these different things in our wheelhouse. You may need more womb healing before you could even get to sober coaching because you're not even ready to even talk about your sobriety because you still got a lot of womb trauma.
Right.
So I love the fact that you like really tap in, you build like an a la carte package for them to really see what's going on in their personal life because I'm a firm believer that music heals a lot of things.
100%.
When I did my Bufo session, it was so funny. I started singing Heal the World, Make It a Better Place.
Bless you. That's what's up.
And
that's what
when
came through
it came through, and I was sitting up here, I was seeing Michael Jackson. I saw my dad. I saw God. And then I talked to my sitter, and I was like, I want to sing. And he's like, sing. And I'm like, heal the world, make it a better place.
You.
And I was like, for you and for... I'm crying, and I'm just like surrendering to all things as though it is imperfection. And I believe music is a foundation for people to really heal. Now, let's talk about it. Someone comes into your session.
Yeah.
They learn about DJing. They're mixing it on the ones and twos. You're showing them how to lay the track down, how to do whatever. Now, when it's time for them, do you do separate sessions for the talking, for the ciphering, or can you integrate the ciphering with the DJing?
No, we keep it focused. Either you're going to be working on your ciphering,
right,
or you're going to be working on the DJing. But still, the life work is connected to it. You know what I mean? Regardless. I had a client. There's actually a current client of mine, amazing human. She came to me for DJ lessons. Yeah, she came to me for DJ lessons, and I mentioned the psychedelic situation, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Let's do that."
Yeah.
So during our call, this is the thing. Whenever you work with me, regardless, we're not going to do anything. Work on a surface. Like,
right.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. We're not going to work surface. I'm gonna.
You gotta get all in there, yeah.
I'm gonna
get into those areas that you don't want to talk about.
Yeah, so naturally I'm like, what got you? Well, you want to DJ? Amazing. What got you into music?
That's fire.
What age? Oh, I've always liked music. when I was young, I used to sing. And I'm like, oh, you used to sing.
Right.
Can you tell me more about that? Oh, yeah, it was amazing. I was doing this. I used to write songs and everything. Why'd you stop? Oh, because there was this stage situation that happened, and then I just stopped. And I was like, and that's when we shifted, and I was like, are you open to a suggestion?
Right.
But she knew about Soul Cypher, so I was like, Soul Cypher voice, the Soul Cypher DJ, Soul Cypher voice.
Right.
So I said, are you open to a suggestion? She's like, yeah. I'm like, can we talk more about this voice portion of things? Can we talk about where when I ask questions, and she got activated from that. And then I suggested that we put the DJ situation on hold.
Wow.
And we went with the voice. And now we are we're 2 months into her 90-day program with the microdose and the voice. And when I say this woman is, I know I talk a lot about dragons. The prompts I give are called dragon challenges, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about that.
So this woman is now, I send her a beat. One of the most recent dragon challenges. I was like, I'm sending you this beat, okay? You have this beat. I want you to read a paragraph, whatever book you have. Go grab a book that's on your shelf. Read a paragraph of this book, okay?
That's awesome.
Read a paragraph and then continue that story over this song, right? But you only have, it's a 5-minute beat. You only have 5 minutes to write it.
Wow.
And so she wrote 2 verses in a hook in 5 minutes. And I told her she only has 10 minutes to read over it.
Right.
This is where we are now in the process. It started with freestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for her personally, it's going into writing and performance. Some people just do it with creativity and freestyle the whole time, but it's tailored. So now I'm amazed that she wrote a whole song. And since we started with the foundation of freestyle, what she was able to do, she only had 10 minutes she wasn't allowed to edit it. Right. She only had 10 minutes to read over it and get the tones together with this beat that she was about to hear one more time, because she's only heard it once with the writing. So then she goes over it in any part that she doesn't know we've already laid the foundation of freestyle, so it fills it in. Her brain automatically fills this part in.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this also happens in public speaking.
Yes,
it happens in
that's what I was just thinking about.
This is great for business.
Yeah.
Besides creativity.
But what I love about what you just said is that you're allowing her to take that flame that we were talking about, that she wanted to not nurture or not grow from whatever constructs she had. And you'll be like, let me show you this flame and let me add more to it. Let me throw some other things. And now she got a bonfire. And you like, let me throw the couch in this bonfire.
Yeah, she is killing right now. Like she is.
And you know what? But then that's opening up more ways for her to make money if she wanted to.
This is the thing. She just scored 2 different, she's a director and she's not in music at all.
Right.
But she's like, this has opened up her creative, throat chakra, her creative visions, everything else. Because once you spark, once you pass that over to different elements of your
personal life, your business life, and working with your kids. That's so amazing that you're able to bridge that gap for people to where she thought she was coming in for a DJ container. Yeah. You did a slight pivot. You listen to what her pressure points were. And then you're like, let's change it and do this. And now in doing this, she's opened up expanded her voice to allow her to be a better director, probably better in her work, more expressive because she's no longer afraid.
And Sis is rapping and singing.
Wow, that's amazing.
3 different languages.
Oh my God.
But even in her freestyle, she switches between French, Spanish, and English.
What?
In her freestyle.
That is so fire. That is so fire. So let's talk about this dragon. Okay?
Dragon, yeah.
I want to talk about this dragon analogy that you use because whenever I go work out at the gym, I do solid core every morning, every other day. And I used to call it How to Tame the Dragon. Because back in the day, I had a whole lot of anger. And as I got sober, like I've been working on this not so hard life, like sobriety doesn't have to be hard. And I used to call it like, I'm going to tame my dragon. My dragon is wild and crazy, and she liked to fight. What? She's wild and crazy, but what I've had to learn to do is take that erraticness of a dragon. You remember the movie How to Train a Dragon?
Yeah.
So that's in my head. That's what I'm doing. My dragon can be wild, crazy, all over the place. But now I got her where she's, okay, hold on. She bucked the system sometime. And I have to get the reins on her and be like, she tries to get a little crazy, you know. And I've had to learn, and now that I'm thinking about it, now that we're talking, before I would try to control her and try to not let her go nowhere and just tame her. And I'm like, use this So I use the taming the dragon metaphor whenever I work out, because when I do Pilates, and I love Pilates, but Pilates will make you see is what is that inner conversation that you're saying to yourself. Because it's my Pilates that I do, it's in the dark and it's very slow, methodic movement. And as you expand and contract, you're moving at like an 8 count, which is absolutely ridiculous doing a plank on a Sweatlana machine. You're doing a whole 8 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you bring it back in. And so I had to learn to train my dragon because I had to learn to train my mind and what I was saying to myself. Because quite naturally, your mind wants to get crazy and you want to quit. You want to say, why would I even do this? Like I go into it like, why the fuck do I do this brutal exercise? It's not comfortable at all. So I had to learn to train my dragon. But this time, now that I'm thinking about it and talking about this, my dragon got soft this past weekend. I didn't have to be so hard with her. I let her be soft, and in me training my dragon, like I was like, gosh, I've been saying some hard shit to my dragon. Now I'm softening the approach now and allowing her the freedom to not be so hard and rigid with her. I don't have to keep bucking and pulling on her.
Part of the work.
I can let her, I can be soft with her and see a different part of her and honor that part of her. And that life doesn't have to be a fight of me fighting my dragon. How do you use the dragon theory?
The dragon started for me in those times where I was being silenced and I was upset. And I remember I had one of those little blue notebooks that we used to have in school.
Yeah.
Back when. And
was it like the composition one?
No, not the composition one. It was like smaller than the composition one.
Oh, okay.
It was like light blue. I remember it like it was yesterday. Light blue, like big, because I was young.
Right. Yeah.
I was young. This is around when you start, a little past when you start learning how to write.
Right.
Maybe like a year or two. And I would write in this book, just like scribble, sort of free write, curses. I hate this.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck. You know what I mean? And
it's a curse word book.
It's a curse word book. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was like my I didn't like really know the journal or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I wanted to scream, but if I screamed, I'm gonna get my ass whipped again.
Right.
So that was my outlet. I was and so I had this fire in my chest that was released when that happened. Right. So carry on, go further in life. And I always had this thing about people who hurt me intentionally. You know what I'm saying? So not like, you hurt me, right? So if you know that something's going to upset me and you do that shit.
Right.
Anyways, knowing
you were
that
in the
that
curse
is going
word
to, then the fire comes out. Then the dragon comes out. And that dragon also carries a very hot tongue. You know what I'm saying? I've always had a hot tongue.
That makes a lot of sense.
You know,
so did my dragon. Ooh, she's
I could
nasty.
Tell you something about yourself. And it was like the gift of seeing people, the light and dark. The shadow part of seeing people is that if there is something I perceive as a weakness, and that dragon is there, but if that dragon is there, that dragon will unleash and do what it can to break you down because you had, you know what I mean? Because I felt that there was a perceived, I felt that you knew that you were trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. But then it started to make me some money.
Right.
Because I got into MC battling, and I ran out of money when I first moved to New York.
Right. I think everybody runs out of money when they first move to
It was like 6 months I ran out of money.
Right.
And then I started dating this B girl, and she was like, yo,
what's a B girl? What does that mean?
Oh, B-boy and B girl.
Oh, okay. B girl. Okay.
Yeah, B girl.
Right.
Yeah, hip hop dancer.
Okay, cool.
So she started taking me to the event she competed in, and I started battling.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, the dragon is here, mother.
Wow.
And I would just chop people up.
Just roast them.
Yeah. So fast forward even more, you start doing the self-work and realize how much, and that dragon can come in different forms. It can come as, you can call it your ego. You can call it your
that's what I was just about to
editor.
say. That sounded like when my
Your
dragon
inner
came
voice.
out, that was my ego.
Yeah.
Now that I know, I mean, for me, so let me back up a little bit. Because I grew up in a very verbally abusive household where my mom would be like, you're not shit. I wish you were dead. I hate you. You're a liar like your father. I started taking those same words and using it to do the same to other people. You crossed me, and I felt like you said the dragon, you crossed me. Oh, I would cut you to shreds.
Yeah, that fire comes
I
out.
wouldn't, when I look back, not that I'm proud of it, but when I look back, I'm like, wow, I had a horrible tongue. But then with growth and empowerment and more self-love and just forgiveness played a huge part in that. Now I can use those same words to empower people and say such positive things. And people are like, I did a session with a girl in the water, and she's like, how did you come up with all that stuff? Like you said, because I was like, I know the other side of what I could have said to you to break you down. You probably would have wanted to die if I said what I could have said.
Yeah.
But instead now, the me coming for you is more of me empowering you. So I love what you said about that fire and that dragon. Again, me taming my dragon is also me taming my mouth. And I call it you need to shut the fuck up sometimes. And people will be like, I'll be like, yeah, it's the truth. Yeah. Me taming that mouth of mine and that dragon of mine is that when you could tear someone down, how good would it feel to build them up? When that person driving intentionally horrible, you want to say something real nasty, because I'd jump out the car and break your whole window and tear you all the way down. I was the queen for anger management. Went there 3 times for the record. But it's now I can use that same energy to empower, heal, and inspire. And now that dragon is no longer the dragon that hurts. She's the dragon that heals. And she's really sweet sometimes. I call her Little Provi. She sits on my side over here. And so thank you for just sharing your experiences and your strength and your hope of taking those words to not only make money, but to now heal people.
This is the thing. This is for me in Soul Cypher, the most important part of that dragon, because like you said, you were like, I allowed my dragon to be this way. I spoke to you. Some of the prompts that we use, some of the dragon challenges, we start off at the beginning speaking. I have them speaking to their dragons without them knowing that they're speaking to their dragons.
That's so beautiful.
What I'm saying? And giving their dragons, we talk about what their doubts are, how they're feeling. And then there's even, we do mirror work. That's one of the prompts. So I'll have
that
them,
mirror work is wild.
Mirror work is wild.
That mirror work.
I'll have them pick somebody who is daring close to them. Depending on what the situation is, how they're feeling or whatever. But one of the things is I'll have them rhyme in the mirror, either telling themselves with eyes locked, telling themselves about themselves, or rhyming from some people have challenges doing that. So we'll go from, I'll have you lock into somebody who you know and love and respect, who you know and loves and respects you, and you'll speak from their perspective,
that's deep.
rapping and freestyling to you, telling you about a certain thing depending on what the situation is. So it's
That's
all
so
about
fire.
really accepting
I could see
that
you
dragon.
using, let me tell you, my spirit is, I could use something like that with my oldest daughter. Like, instead of us fussing with each other, what if we made up a rap to really talk about what we were
I've done
feeling?
it with mother-daughter.
Really, you get what I'm saying? And instead of us like saying what we felt, we use music to say how we were feeling when the container no longer felt safe, or when we were both trying to express what we wanted to say. That's that's going back to the beauty of music. And just, I love what you're saying, honoring the dragon.
Honor the dragon. Let the dragon have his voice. Like when I spoke to it, let the dragon have his voice.
Yeah.
Let it speak. Let it out. Because that can be the things that you need to cut through first to get to your authentic voice. Because the dragon might be a lot of other voices, a lot of other lenses.
Right. I had to work on my authentic voice in the last 3 months since the Condor. How long has it been?
It's been 3 months.
3 months since the Condor Approach. Because I was so afraid and ashamed of my voice.
Yeah.
And again, because I've misused it, I literally had to have my throat chakra taken out, the old version of myself, and put in a new version of this throat chakra. And I remember when they did it, and they were like, because I was using my voice for just in all the wrong ways, just not healing. And so when they put the new one in, and I got a lapis stone, I just really had to focus on what could, instead of me saying what is not healthy and healing, what could I say that's empowering? But then I had to learn how to do it for myself, because I was really big about, what am I telling myself? What shame space am I keeping myself? What guilt space am I keeping myself in of what I no longer am? And we'll do that really quick. We could tell someone else how great they are and powerful they are, but when it's time to look in that mirror, like you said, do that mirror work, to have those direct conversations, now we can't talk. Now we stuttering. Or now we're criticizing. And so me finding that authenticity within myself to share my story, just saying, fuck these people, fuck them, whoever doesn't understand or want to understand, has been super empowering, because like me standing in my authentic self is scary now, because I'm like, I don't want to sit in that room. I want to be right here talking to people.
Yeah.
I want to hear what they have to say. I want to use my voice and my throat chakra in other ways. God, I'm not a great singer, but I'd love to do because we're going to do a session too, just so you know. Like, I'm going to try to, we're going to throw some beats out there, and I'm going to try to get with my,
that's what's up.
You
I'm
know?
here for it.
So I love that you like really empower people to find that dragon, to stand in their authenticity, to not be ashamed and no longer afraid of what it looks like and what it feels like. Because I'm quite sure after you get done with sessions, you're probably like, ooh, that was a lot for me.
Yeah, I do have my own practice of clearing and
closing off.
And sending to them, sending to me, clearing and burning things.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to. It's your spiritual wellness.
Yeah, you have to.
So let's talk about, what other projects do you have going on?
Besides the DJ lessons, I also the Soul Cypher. So the Soul Cypher with the voice activation portion.
Talk about how that first started. I heard that started during the pandemic.
The Soul Cypher?
Wait, you started that in New York?
Yeah.
On Monday nights, and then
no.
How did this start?
That's a whole other thing. We didn't even talk about Freestyle Monday.
Right. Freestyle Monday started in New York, right?
Freestyle Monday started in New York 2.5 to 3 weeks after I moved to New York.
Right.
Because I was going around to open mics and I wasn't feeling very, I don't know if accepted is the word. I wasn't able to get on like I wanted to get on.
Okay.
I wasn't able to get on how I wanted to get on. People would be hopping in front because people know people. So I would be there for 5 hours I'm just trying to rap, y'all.
Really?
I'm just trying to rap.
They do it like that?
Some places do it like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't really lock in. So a few friends of mine, I'll spare the details of the story.
Right.
The big part of the story. But a few friends of mine and I got together and began our own night.
That's
And,
right.
Yeah, like a platform for folks. This is actually the 21st year of the event.
What?
Yeah, it's been in New York for 21 years. It's been in the Czech Republic for 12 years.
That's
it's been in
fire.
Strasbourg, France for 11 years. Because I toured before the pandemic, I was a touring like beast. That's what I
Right.
did. I was touring 3 to 6 months a year, and then actually before my child was here. Once my
Oh.
child arrived, I was
You're
like,
like, I gotta
I'm gonna
sit.
pop out
Right.
for 2 or 3 days at a
Right.
time. I haven't toured like that, but yeah. So fast forward to the pandemic. The pandemic had a lot to do with how Freestyle Mondays changed as well. Because in Freestyle Mondays, it's a platform. It's a hip hop platform for people to
Wow.
come with a live band, get busy, freestyle.
What?
But not just any
Live band is hard.
but the hardest live band in
Really?
New York City. I'm like, my people are like the best musicians in
Go
New
ahead
York.
and throw the plug.
You know
Come
what I'm
on.
saying?
Who are they?
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Masayuki.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
wow.
I'm talking about Lex Sadler. I'm talking about Dave Sigiguana. I'm talking about Chris
Okay.
Boozy. I'm talking about the bad of the bad bads. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
So
Who
you
have, like-
freestyle in front of a live band?
Yeah, so and people could come and it was free. We did it weekly for 12 years.
Wow.
Right. So and then the rest of the time I was touring a little bit, so we started monthly. So in these spaces, MCs, so I've been holding space in the freestyle space
Right.
for since forever. I'm hosting the show and freestyling all night, and like people are coming up and I'm setting a ceremony type vibration.
That's dope.
Where we've popped so many cherries of people who've never rocked in front of a band, people who've never been on a microphone before, people who've never sang or spoken or rapped on a microphone. So in this, I set the stage for it to be welcome and growing. So I've seen you do
that's so
21
fire.
years, and
That's a long time.
yeah, there's people who I've taught how to hold microphones who are now on primetime television rapping, who are on Broadway rapping. and,
Wow, that's
like,
so fire.
Yeah, so it's that kind of like real building. So fast forward, and there was a battle. I started to throw this battle called the Off the Head Game Show battle, where there's a spinning
wow.
wheel and all these things. And there was like there's a mirror round where you have to battle yourself. So I was doing this therapeutic shit a long time ago.
Wow.
You know, there's
You would make them battle themselves?
yeah, one person held up a big mirror
in front of people?
in front of people.
Wow, that's hard.
Yeah, so they would have to battle themselves. So fast forward to the pandemic. And then there were also rounds where like you would actually be getting at people and dissing your moms and all
Right,
this kind of stuff.
yeah.
So the pandemic happened.
Right.
And I built this online like production show. I learned how to do a production show.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I had commercials, I had sponsors, they would have 30-second commercials, and I'm running all this with 6 screens.
What?
2 big screens, and then my phone and my computer and my tablet and my lady's computer as well. So I'm like doing all these things and switching scenes, and there's 2 people up and I'm small in the corner, all this
Right.
stuff. So I switched the battle to be all like to still have the strength of the battle, but
Wow.
have nothing dissing anybody. So there's like a spinning wheel. You might be a shark, I might be a bear.
Right.
we'll rap
then you
like that.
Oh, that's cool.
All the rounds that people were going direct at each other, I
Yeah.
changed.
Oh, nice.
So there would be a round called like wing person, a wingman, a wing woman, and I would bring, if I'm battling you, I would have a special guest and I would bring their square up here. And one MC
What?
had to rap to that MC, rap to that woman or man why they should go on a date or hang out with the other MC.
Oh, snap. That is so
You
awesome.
see what I'm saying?
So much connection.
All big up. So my favorite round was the last round that I called Therapidize.
Right.
So this is my favorite shit. So what you do is one person would look into the Zoom screen, right? And they'd have to battle themselves. And what I saw, this was the beginning of, this is when Soul Cypher started to like really make sense to me.
Right.
This is when, because I was deep in my self-work in the pandemic as well. So I
Same.
saw,
Ooh.
there's one particular battle who I saw, this young black man and this young black woman in the final round. And my man was dissing himself and talking about how he had been drinking too much and going to sleep too late. And he was just going through it. He was feeling down. He was feeling depressed. And he was literally, you could literally see him in his chair battling himself like this. And he went in on himself. He went in on himself. Sis came up. Sis went and was like, black man, do you know you are beautiful? black man.
Oh
Do
my
you know
God.
that it's, look,
Yeah,
look,
like
black man, and he literally sits up in his chair, and you see him. Everything starts glowing. His eyes start smiling. He's like this. The empowerment that I saw, that you could see in this one clip, I was like, I am never gonna put a dissing battle in any of my events ever again, ever again. And I saw, and he just lifted up, and then afterwards, he was like, yo, I just need that as like my ringtone or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And what comes to me just like spiritually was that, especially in a pandemic, to be seen.
She saw it.
She took his lenses off and put on hers on his face and was like, let me show you what I see. And I think that's the beauty of the work that you're doing.
And this was around the time where cops were leaning on necks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
Taking lives by leaning
yeah.
on necks.
And so I think that was
people
such a rough time for a lot of people because we didn't have the representation or for someone to hold space for us to really see us unless we let that dragon out to destroy things. And people didn't really start taking notice until we were like, okay, we'll just tear up all your stuff. Not saying that it was right.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? But to hear what you're saying about what you did, like she took his lenses off and was like, these are outdated, brother. Let me put on what I see in some new lenses to show you how great you are. And I think that's what your container and your community is allowing people to do is to take off these. They say every year you need to go and get your eyes checked.
There it is.
That's it.
There it is.
Every year you got to go get your eyes checked.
You need to go get your eyes.
And then sometimes it's okay for me to take my glasses off and allow someone to allow me to put their glasses on for me to see, even though I can't see that well, for them to tell me what they see within those glasses in that framework. So that's what I feel like you're doing for a lot of people. What they thought they needed wasn't what they thought they needed. But you're allowing them to say, hey, come over to my container, take those old glasses off. You need your eyes checked, your heart checked. Your fire needs to be recalibrated.
That's it.
And you're going to walk out into the world with a different lens on.
And change that voice. All this work changes that little voice and that little, all the stuff above your authentic voice.
Right.
It gives voice to it to see that it's not real. And then the authentic voice comes up and it's accepted. So when you're having that little voice inside of you that was one time doubting you, you can be like, hey, thank you. I don't need you right now.
I don't need you.
Because it's there to protect you.
It is. And I would like to kind of talk about that little voice now that you brought it up. And I call it so I heard from 0 to 7, that's when you come up with your programming. And then you go from there. And my 0 to 7 little voice, starting from, I like to say from the mother's womb to 7.
Safety.
Is where that comes up, that little voice. And any kind of devaluing, anything where you've seen violence or lack of money or struggle. And that 0 to 7, that's where you start to create that narrative of who you are and what you are. And so it's so good that we honor and that we see that little version of ourselves. I told you, whenever I talk to y'all, I don't talk to the adult version of y'all. I'm talking to 0 to 7. So I like to go about 5. Like when I'm out talking to people, I'm like 5-year-old Provi is playing with 5-year-old Corey James Gray, and it's fun to play in this arena and play with these toys. You're like, here, look at my box. I like to make music with my toys, and I like to do this. So it's like you get to go back to like your son's age and experience joy from that capacity and see your authentic self. And then you invite people to go back to that younger version where you were no longer afraid. Because 0 to 7-year-old Provi could walk around naked, didn't care.
Right.
Just do whatever because I didn't have so many other, go put some clothes on, go do this, go do that. I got to just be myself. So I just want to say thank you for honoring your authenticity and changing the framework of what you were doing. let's not rip each other apart, because we could see that on the news.
Right.
The news would rip every black man and every black woman apart for everything.
That's what's promoted.
Thank you for empowering our community to see the best within ourselves. And I remember when you left out the last time, you and Ty and everybody was doing their soul cipher, and everybody was popping in, rhyming, and you get to see everybody's tragedy to triumph. Because that's all we want people to see, is see that I went through some hard shit and celebrate me in the good shit.
Yeah.
See that.
The human stuff.
Yeah. See that I don't have to be perfect, but see that the gift of imperfection is so beautiful within me. And so thank you for celebrating people in that capacity to allow them to see themselves. Absolutely.
And in the containers, every piece, every fractal piece is welcome.
Yeah.
In those places. That's important.
Yeah, it's so important.
That's important.
So we're just going to go ahead on and close out. Give us all your Instagram. Where can they find your website? Because the website is fire, y'all. I think I got first dibs on seeing it, and I absolutely love it. I was like, I want to do something like this. This is fire.
Yeah.
Where can they find you? What's the www.
First, I want to give a quick shout to just Freestyle Mondays.
Yes.
To Soul Cypher. Also to Next Level. I've been a U.S. ambassador of culture with the State Department. So the State Department flies me around the world to hold these, to teach DJing and to teach rapping.
So fire.
And then I kind of slip the medicine inside. I got them doing breathing stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. So, you got to slip that medicine in.
Slip the medicine. So shouts to Next Level as well. Yeah, so CoreyJamesGray.com.
Beautiful.
CoreyJames James.com. And then there's also Soul2TO Cypher with a Y, CYPHER.com. All
that
platforms,
so awesome.
Corey James Gray.
And that's fire. Yeah. I can't wait. And whenever I see your stuff, I'm going to start promoting it. I'm going to start jumping on some of these.
Yeah, I'm doing little dragon challenges. I'm doing
some dragon challenges as well. And just for me, I'm just the sober coach. I'm here to spread awareness about different modalities of healing for people to understand where can they invite themselves to heal in a different way. Yeah. Like I feel like every model and every container may not be for you. But if we can shine more light on the modalities for people to heal, where they say yes to their healing, say yes to soul ciphering, say yes to cold plunges, anything to help you get to the other side when you want to pick up a drink or have a desire to be sober curious. That's what I'm here for. So I've been working. You could find me on Instagram at @Provi3010 every Friday. Starting in July, I'm bringing a different modality of healing, a different style of coaching, so people can start really bridging the gap between this sober life, psychedelic life, sober life, different modalities, and not be afraid to lean into it. So I feel like that's my purpose. That's where I feel comfortable in this space. Or you can find me at Healing Your Providence. That's at Healing Your Providence, Providence. And what I continue to share as I'm closing out is that a lot of people have been looking for the Providence Turks and Caicos, Providence Methodist Church, Providence Street, Providence Road.
Providence, Rhode Island.
Right, Providence, Rhode Island. And as a child, I was constantly searching for what my Providence was. And then as I got sober, I realized that my Providence was deep down inside. And this is where your Providence is. Yeah. So I invite people to find their Providence and look within, because it's nowhere else but right here. Right there. This dragon right here, she's here. Yeah. That Providence is here. And to honor that, hey, we got to give the Condor Approach a shout out. Hey, if you're looking and you're a coach and you want to be a coach, or you're looking and you're a healer, you work in different healing modalities, reach out to Todd and Cole on Instagram, because this is where you start bridging the gap between your modalities and income, learning different rules, learning different approaches. That's one thing that I love about the Condor Approach, is that they take everything that I don't understand and they simplify it for me.
100%.
So, hey, be curious, be Condor curious, because it's a community out there for you. You no longer have to be afraid. The beautiful thing is that we're all psychedelically informed. So that means we work from our hearts and not our heads. So, yeah. So thank you. Thank you. And thank you for talking to me. Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
All right, so check it. You already know about the Condor Approach, but did you know we have a one-day event coming up in Spanish Fork, Utah, August 1st? We're going to chat about uncovering the secrets of psychedelic integration to stay safe, connected, and fulfilled. If you want to discover how to navigate your psychedelic experiences with precision so that every step you take is aligned with your intentions and desired outcomes, this event is for you. It's just one day. Lunch is included. If you want to learn about the first thing you could do when you return home after a big experience, or why so many people slide backwards after a few weeks or months, how to find the right facilitator for you, the process that you're in, what questions to ask, how to share your wisdom and insights with those around you in your community, how to bridge the gap from the Western medicalized models and these ancient practices, your own unique framework that goes beyond just traditional methods or medicalized methods, and how to take your integration skills to the next level so that you can be a catalyst for change in the lives of others around you and really help to destigmatize and educate your community, then this is for you. So again, August 1st, admission is $297. We go from 9:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. in Spanish Fork, Utah. It's going to be an amazing event. If you want more information, I want to send it to you. So head on over to Instagram, the Condor Approach. Shoot me a message whether you want to come to the Condor Approach, a one-day event, or you're not sure. You're like, Cole, I don't know. You do all of the things. I get it. So book a call with me. Yes? Or you can go to learnmore.coach. Book a call with me. We can go over all the things and find the right fit for you. Let's get back to the episode.
Integration is not optional.